Welcome to Strategic Marketing on today's Smart Chiropractor show. We're going to answer the question, or maybe it's not a question. We're going to let you know the easiest way to improve your patient education. This was a topic that came up in the Smart Chiropractor group over the past week, and it got some interesting responses. So I felt as though it was a good opportunity to bring out on the show and have a discussion around. And in my mind, the easiest way to improve your patient education is to ensure that the screens in your office have great content playing on them. Now, I said at the time, I think in the thread, you have a captive audience. I feel like it was like taken as you're not holding people hostage or keeping people waiting on purpose to see you. However, I don't care if it's 20 seconds or 20 minutes. That is, that's like holy grail time. When you have a captive audience, somebody is waiting, regardless of how long that is, in the four walls of your practice. When else do you have the opportunity to have their attention? And my question to you perhaps would be, what are you using to curate their attention? And having streaming video in your reception area is, in my opinion, the easiest. You plug it in and you let it ride. And one of the best ways, and pretty much one of the only ways, let's just tell it as it is, beyond the conversations that you're physically having in your office, in order to help people understand more about their health and the benefits that you provide. Now, some of you might say, as the comments we received, well, I don't know, patients are coming in and they're on their phone. Absolutely, that is a real thing. But they're looking up. And if you have something there, they are going to look up. And I will take a net positive of 2 seconds of screen time education per patient over the course of a 10-year career to 0. There is not a single way you can convince me that you are not going to be on top. You're not going to get a net positive benefit for your practice by streaming video. Now, we created that. We include it within the Smart Chiropractor. We call it Smart TV. I'll share that real quick. You can head over to the Smart Chiropractor and check it all out. There are a few different companies, services that provide exactly this sort of service to you. So feel free, check out what's out there, see what resonates with you. But there is no question in my mind, Jason, the easiest way to up your game on the patient education side is to plug in a television, turn off the news, please, if you're playing the news, and ensure that you have high quality messaging that teaches and invites consistently going across those screens in your practice. What are your thoughts?
I completely agree. It's funny. I was at my chiropractor just a few days ago, last week, and I was sitting there waiting, and nothing that great was on my phone, and I was going to be respectful. He's got no phone signs all over, so I followed. You might want to have those as well. Another way to get people to be present to what's going on in your office. And as I was looking up and around, I saw his screen, and I had two thoughts. One, that's pretty darn good stuff. And two, it's ours. That's awesome. So it was a double win for me. But it asks questions. It gets people thinking. It keeps them having positive impressions. But what it also does is it shows that you care about teaching people something, not just selling them something. And I know that may sound like a subtle, but it is a distinct difference. When you invest in things that teach people about themselves, that aren't just sales brochures and pamphlets and coupons and gift certificates or whatever it may be to get them in, but in fact, teach them things about themselves that make them go, wait a minute, that is true. I do deserve to be healthy. Wait a minute, that is true. I should be eating more greens. Wait a minute, that is true. Fitness and movement are essential to my life. And all of the messages that keep going out there, when you have that going on in your office, that says, I take it seriously. I want to make sure that my people know the right stuff. And, many of you have been following, some of you haven't, but this idea of sort of making sure that you are programming your mind for the positive is a thing. And I guess, what I've been learning lately, I'll just summarize by saying, either you are programming your mind for yourself for what you want it to be, or somebody else is programming it for you. And if you know you're not the one doing your own programming, then you can assume someone else is doing it for you. And what I mean by that is that we respond to the information we get from our environment. And people who are in your environment should be responding to the information you're putting out. And the more quality information that's beautifully designed, research-based, and really focused on teaching and inviting, getting to the point of what's the bottom line? Why does it matter? What's the research that supports that? What should be my next step? When you just keep it simple, direct, and to the point because you care about me as a consumer and you want what's best for me, then these are little investments that pay large dividends because people get that you really care, that you really focus on making sure they get the information they need to live their best life. So there's nothing easier than plugging in a TV, putting in the cartridge we give you and having it stream month after month after month after month. And wouldn't you know it, it matches your weekly newsletter. It matches your monthly campaign. It matches all the other content that you are using through the Smart Chiropractor. And hopefully the stuff that you're creating because of what you've learned with the Smart Chiropractor that you're taking next level. It gives you a comprehensive professional look that people appreciate. So great topic. It was controversial. Chiropractors have a tendency to just sort of think through our own eyes. We judge things based on how we feel about them as chiropractors. And we don't really put ourselves in the patient's perspective or the person's point of view. What does it mean to them? Do they appreciate it? Is it valuable? Does it keep them focused on something you want them to get focused on, as opposed to something you probably don't want them to focus on, which is the stress in their lives or the news and I don't understand how practices have outside information coming in, the news, magazines, newspapers, other information that is not from you, supporting chiropractic, supporting the mindset, and inspiring and teaching people how they can live their best life. If it doesn't do that, I'm suggesting you get it out of your practice to give people the experience they deserve. It's a little investment, doesn't get much easier than this.
I could not agree more. Streaming video, do it. It is the best and easiest way that you can improve your patient education in a passive fashion while people are in your practice. There is nothing easier that you can do, and it's going to improve your patient experience as well. Thank you so much for watching this video on the Smart Chiropractor. To not miss a single thing that's clinically oriented, marketing oriented, or more, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel today.